Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another awesome, amazing, fantastic edition of Wade Watches. I'm Wade. Welcome to another awesome, fresh out of the movie theater review, where today I just got through watching The Fantastic Four First Steps in IMAX 3D. And even though I know this came out, last week, I'm still, as always, going to keep things super vague, super spoiler-free. You're safe with me, as always, even though I know like a week ago in internet time is like 50 years, and I'm sure even if you haven't seen this, you probably know how everything goes because it's been leaked online, but I'm still going to keep things super vague for you. So getting right into it, let me just say that the irony is definitely not at all lost on me, that the fact of the matter is this is the fourth iteration of the Fantastic Four that we've gotten on the silver screen. Incarnation of the Fantastic Four, not the fourth movie, because we've had the Roger Corman movie, we've had the two Tim Story movies, which I grew up on. That was definitely a huge part of my childhood. We've had that Josh Trank, if you can call that a movie, and now we have this. But this is the fourth incarnation of these guys that we've gotten on the silver screen. And let me just spare the suspense right now. I'm telling you right now, yes, this is like by a clear mile the best live action Fantastic Four movie that we have gotten to date. It is definitely leagues better than the Roger Corman movie, the Tim Story movies, definitely better than the Josh Trank movies. But with that being said, let's just call a spade and be honest. That's not really like the hardest feat in the world to pull off. That's not really like a Herculean task to make a better Fantastic Four movie than Corman or Story or Trank. Let's be honest. I still enjoyed this. I still thought it was really, really good, but that's my way of saying that it's not a flawless MCU movie. It's not a masterpiece. It's not up there. It's not going to rank up there for me, up there with Civil War or Black Panther or Endgame, or the ones like I'm just like, yeah, like this is a masterpiece. It's not up there, but it's still really, really good. It's still really, really enjoyable. So let's get into all the good stuff. So let me just say first, the main thing that I'm walking out of this film appreciating is the cast. I really did feel like Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Ebon Backrack, and Joseph Quinn really fit these roles really well. They really did bring these guys to life. They really did do them justice. It was literally like watching the Fantastic Four be brought to life, and I just felt that they really filled these roles really, really well. So I loved all of them as our quartet of superheroes. And Also, the main thread of this movie, and I know all of you out there probably know who it is, but again, gonna still keep things super vague for you, was badass. He looked scary. He looks legitimately terrifying, especially on a massive IMAX screen. He really, really looked great. And that was funny because I was concerned because, if you see him in the comic books, I was thinking to myself, they probably can't really translate this well into live action, and I'm happy that I was wrong. He was a badass looking dude. And also another thing, couple more things that I appreciated. I love the reality in the world that this takes place, and I like how it definitely stands as its own standalone story. It's not trying to have a bunch of tie-ins or references to the MCU. It's not trying to remind you that it's a part of the biggest shared universe in history, the biggest movie franchise in history. It definitely stands on its own. That's definitely something that I haven't seen from the MCU since Black Panther. So I'm glad that they've made another movie that can essentially stand on its own story. And if you've never seen any of the previous MCU installments, you can go into this and still enjoy it on its own merit. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. It's a good looking world. I like the whole retro futuristic feel. All really solid badass stuff. And lastly, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the soundtrack. Not since Black Panther or Avengers have we really had like a very memorable soundtrack for an MCU movie. They all kind of blend together, but this theme song is stuck in my head. I'm going to remember it, and every time I think of the Fantastic Four, I'm going to think of this theme song. And that's just like full props to Michael Giacchino for scoring this movie. You really created a memorable theme, and I'm really going to, I'm going to be listening to it on repeat. It's stuck in my head right now, so it's a great theme song, and it's probably gonna be a month before I get this theme out of my head. So all that stuff is good, and you know the story is solid as well. I like what they did. I like how there's kind of a bit of a minor twist. It's not like the biggest like what in the world, but it's kind of like a a little bit of a minor twist, and it kind of feeds into how everything goes. And I was just like, okay, that's really solid. I can get behind that. Totally get that. Totally understandable. And it's good. It's fine. So story as a whole, it functioned. It worked. But that being said, however, and here we go. I just feel like the main problem here is that we simply don't see enough. It is clear as crystal that there are vital scenes missing from this film, that there is a lot that's been left on the cutting room floor, and that's kind of a bummer, man, because like I said, I like this world. I would have liked to have seen more of it. I like the characters in this world. Would have liked to see more of them, because this is an hour and 55 minutes, man, and I felt it. Like, it just flies by, and I wish that it was a bit longer, like 3 hours is pushing it, okay? But maybe like 2 hours, 20 minutes, 2 hours and 15, maybe even 2.5 hours. I would have been there for that, because it really does feel like it really did feel like, at least to me, that there was so much more that could have been shown here, that could have been revealed. And I had the same exact complaint about Superman, where it's like you're just kind of dropping me in the middle. And I get that you don't want to do another origin story, because the mindset, the mentality is, well, audiences have seen that before. We don't want to see, we don't want to see Superman's origin again. We don't want to see the Fantastic Four's origin again. And I get that. But granted, you could have maybe shown a little bit more of what we see being built up to, being established. I would have very much appreciated that, because the talent's here, the story's here, the world's here, but we just don't get to see enough of everything, in my opinion. And that definitely made for a movie that kind of felt, unfortunately, a little bit rushed in parts. And there's a sequence in particular where I was like, hey, slow down, let it marinate, let it simmer a little bit, man. But they didn't. It was just kind of like, nope, we got to keep going, we got to keep moving. So yeah, that was definitely a bit of a bummer for me. But other than that, I did still really enjoy what they did here. I really did enjoy this take on the Fantastic Four and the world they inhabit, and I still had a blast with this film. But I have to say, for Marvel themselves, and Disney and Marvel definitely built this film up as their big summer showstopper. It's the movie that ends the summer movie season. It's the last MCU movie of 2025. I have to say, personally, I think Thunderbolts was a little bit better. I enjoyed that one a little bit more. But again, that doesn't mean that there's no fun or enjoyment to be had in the Fantastic Four First Steps, because I just got through telling you about everything that did work about this movie. I just wish I could have seen more of what worked in this movie. So that's it in a nutshell. And going ahead and wrapping it up, I'm going to go ahead and give the Fantastic Four First Steps an 8.5 out of 10. Maybe I'll go ahead and be lenient and give the IMAX 3D experience a separate rating, and go ahead and give it maybe a 9 out of 10, but only in IMAX. I cannot stress enough how much I really enjoyed watching in this format. I'm glad I spent the extra money to see this in IMAX 3D, because it really did look great in this format. Whole movie is shot in IMAX. The 3D actually did have an effect, so I'm glad I saw it in this format. But that's just me being lenient. As on its own, just the movie itself, it's still an 8.5 out of 10, which is still really good, but not great. I gave Thunderbolts a 9.5 out of 10 for comparison, so I clearly enjoyed that movie a little bit more. But this was also really good too, and Marvel is definitely finding its footing once again. So this has been another edition of Wade Watches. I'll catch you lovely people next time, and peace. If you've seen Fantastic Four: The First Steps, you want to share your thoughts on it, feel free to do so in the comment section below, and like and subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see y'all next time. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.